How do you know you're in a healthy relationship? When you aren't walking on eggshells around the other person, you aren't worried about their reaction, because their reaction to situations is rational. Not sure if this counts as healthy or not. A few weeks ago my wife casually asked me what yesterday's date was. The 11th of July, I said. And what day is that? Oh crap, our wedding anniversary. She laughed. I laughed. We've been married for 15 years and have completely forgotten our anniversary about 6 or 7 times now. It's like a running joke. Having said that, God help me if I ever forgot her birthday. This is like a vision of the future. Spouse and I just had our first anniversary, which we only remembered because our friend's baby had his first birthday party 2 days before, and he was why our friend didn't make it to the wedding. We celebrated by watching the video of the ceremony and reveling in not having to plan a wedding. My brother and sister-in-law told me this story once. I like it because there's nothing else special except this one little note. It was a weekday. They each work at demanding jobs, so they both come home pretty tired. My brother got home first and started doing things around the apartment that needed to be done. My sister-in-law comes home and brings him a Chipwich ice cream for no special reason. That's how my brother knew she loved him. That's just been a relationship goal for me to experience ever since. Frick you my exes. It is great honestly. My husband brings me home a chocolate bar I like or a bag of chips or some random treat. It's just sweet knowing that he thought of me, that he remembers what I like, etc. I think of it as our equivalent to flowers. Some men randomly get their women flowers. Mine gets me snacks. I'd rather the snacks. He knows me so well. 3. And I do it for him too. Conflict is normal. Hostility is not. When you can comfortably disagree on things, it's likely you're in a healthy relationship. ETA. Another general rule for a good relationship is having good experiences with your partner 5 times as often as bad experiences. On that second bit it was revised to an 8:1 ratio if I recall correctly. You argue, but it's productive and doesn't escalate into a full-on fight. Some strong language, but no put-downs, and you're always able to fall asleep next to each other. Good example, you don't even have to argue either. Myself for example, when something's wrong I'll talk about it. I don't ever yell or get mad because you'll get irrational in such cases. Sure you can argue, but debating and talking is even more effective. Just celebrated 4-year anniversary last month. Couple points. 1. You don't fight, you discuss. Sure, voices may get raised sometimes, but if both of you realize that it is both of you against a problem, instead of both of you against each other, you are in a good place. X. Money is tight. Instead of fighting over who spends how much on what, you sit down and budget. 2. Lack of undeserved jealousy. Sure, it's okay to be annoyed if that sleazy co-worker of hers keeps hitting on her, but as long as she keeps rebuffing him, so what? Oh, he has female friends? Let him have them. 3. Nothing feels forced. You want to spend time together. You miss them when they are not around. I am talking long after the initial passionate phase has passed. 4. You don't define each other. You are still you, with your own hobbies and goals, as are they. 5. It doesn't feel like work. If I have to work at a friendship, it might be toxic. Same here. Not saying relationships don't struggle, but see point number 1. Number 4 is so important. IMO. So many people out there are looking for a relationship that will define them and give them worth, and this just inherently and fundamentally breaks the foundation of a relationship. At least this has been my personal experience. When the relationship isn't one-sided, one person shouldn't have the responsibility of the world on their shoulders. Things should be shared as equally as possible. This is in regards to all aspects of the relationship. One person shouldn't always have the responsibility of taking care of the house if both people work 40 hours. One person shouldn't always put in the effort to plan dates and outings. One person shouldn't always initiate sex and physical affection. One person shouldn't stress themselves out trying to take care of and doing nice things for their spouse when they don't get anything in return. If any of these things are truly one-sided and isn't a mutual agreement between partners, someone is going to feel upset, frustrated, depressed, stressed, or unloved that they are the only one giving in the relationship, and are likely to feel as though their partner doesn't care about them. Each person has a responsibility to make their partner happy, and they should want to do it. If it feels like a burden to do something nice for yourself, then the relationship probably isn't working on some level. I read a good line on Reddit a while ago. Don't recall the original source. It's a great relationship when the efforts are more or less divided 60/40, and you're both trying to be the one giving 60. I'm not pretending. I don't fret about her cheating. I don't think about acting on cheating. I know if I speak my mind it won't blow up. I can say no. Fair distribution of chores. When you're not afraid of their reaction to learning you've made a simple and easy to fix mistake. For example, I dropped a few cups of rice on the floor. An unhealthy reaction would have been making me feel stupid and irresponsible for it. Instead, he jokingly shook his head at me and basically said I should go get the vacuum and he'd continue making dinner. You don't feel trapped. Both of you bring out the best in each other. Both parties understand that alone time is a thing. Jealousy only exists in small and healthy amounts, which keeps the relationship fresh. You can't wait to spend time with each other. You make time for yourself because you genuinely want to. Small problems are not worth fighting about. You don't ever think about leaving the relationship. You don't feel attracted to other people. Even if they're better looking, you feel attracted to other people. But it doesn't matter because you're perfectly happy, and you can just look without any desire to chase others. Thank you, you Thudley. But most of all, a relationship shouldn't be hard work. Yes, it takes some work to maintain a healthy and a functioning relationship, but it's something that you should enjoy, not dread. You are spot on about that alone time thing. One of the worst relationships I ever had was one where she just assumed if we were both doing nothing we should be spending time together. Explaining repeatedly that no, I'm not mad at you, but I really just want to go home and play video games for a few hours and go to bed early was a huge frustration. Disclaimer. I'm not referring to deeply manipulative or abusive people. I'm talking about in a healthy relationship. In an argument, both people have a good point. Neither one is entirely wrong, and neither one is entirely right. Both people genuinely have a legitimate grievance to discuss. When you can sit down and talk about each person's issue with the relationship and discuss a path forward to fixing it, rather than getting mad and shutting down, you know you're on the right path. No relationship without squabble, but no relationship should be a pee contest either. Interactions are low risk. There is no way that I could simply misspeak and cause any real problem between us. When I talk to her, I don't have to measure my words. I'm just totally open and honest, and I know that as long as I do that everything will turn out okay. This is all I'm looking for in a relationship. Love my weird. All of it. I don't think I've had one of these healthy relationship things, so I'll answer this by stating what you won't find if you're in a healthy relationship. You feel like the other person does things to you that you would never do to another person, and wonder how they could care so little. Your partner feels totally comfortable telling you lies and justifies it by saying that they had to lie to be sure that you would respond in the way that they wanted. Your partner tries to describe you in a specific, negative light, telling you how you are, and it sounds utterly alien to how you think of yourself. Your partner makes no time for your needs or hobbies, and you find your time constantly scheduled for you in activities that you would rather not be involved in. No matter how much you earn, the amount of money you end up with each month stays the same. Oh dang. Number 2 describes my ex-BFF and her ex-boyfriend perfectly. Me and him both broke up with her. She's awful, saying she had to lie to him or he would get mad. He's one of the most mellow, soft-spoken, easygoing people I know. He might have told her he didn't like what she was doing, but he wouldn't have been mean or harmed her in any way. If you're not comfortable with doing something physical, the other person respects your wishes, rather than arguing that you're wrong to feel uncomfortable about it in the first place and pushing that boundary anyway. I'd say this is intro to basic human decency 101, especially with your significant other. My girlfriend sometimes apologizes as if I might get mad when she states as much, and I always make it a point to tell her never to apologize to me for being open about it. If you really care for the person, you want them to state as much because you wouldn't want to fulfill your own needs at their expense. Just failed at breaking up with my boyfriend last night, and this is the thread I wake up to. Need a cup of coffee first for this one. I am not a person who talks too much and prefer some quiet. Probably that's the reason why I always liked the saying true friendship comes when the silence between two people is comfortable. As someone who often talks too much to fill the gap of silence, agreed, when the silence no longer feels like a gap. It's easy. It feels natural. We just brighten up each other's lives. When I asked him what our biggest fight was about, it was such a small topic that it made me laugh. To me, a healthy relationship is having two independent people with their own lives and dreams, who happen to wind up together purely because they love the other person for who they are, not out of loneliness, the need to be rescued, or wanting someone else to make you feel better. Your lives don't revolve around each other, and your relationship isn't your only source of happiness. Your partner actively and passively brings the best out of you, and you bring out the best out of them. They are able to make you feel high, in a way that doesn't make you feel unstable. Seeing them happy and do well in life genuinely makes you feel happy as well. My fiancée and I live together. It's been going great for the 2 years we've been doing it. We live in an older apartment and the water pressure isn't amazing. The toilet falls under that. Sometimes you need to flush twice to get it all down. 2 days ago, my fiancée went to the bathroom and flushed. I came in a little later and there was still some remainders. I've dealt with this. I flushed it, except one deuce didn't go down. I flushed 8 times and it didn't go. Everything else did. Not it. She was made aware and we spent the rest of the day flushing whenever we could. It didn't go down. I get up the next day and I'm getting sick of this. It's starting to reek up the whole bathroom when we flush and I've contacted the building people to take a look. I'm not going to inflict this on them though. The turd has got to go. She is away at work and I'm home alone. I took drastic measures. I sacrificed a plastic lid to lift it out, throw it in a bag, wrap it up, and took it to the trash can on the curb. She is very sorry and appreciative that I did that, but it didn't feel very mortifying. I don't know. I weirdly feel like being able to scoop my fiancée's crap out of a broken toilet and not be traumatized is a good sign of a relationship's maturity. This is like the grossest sweetest story I've ever read. When your partner's happiness is more important than your own and they feel likewise. I love my wife very much and I feel like I love her more every day. It's a strange feeling but I am lucky to have it. For a moment, I read it as parents and thought that is not how it works. When you can laugh at your mistakes and both of you constantly work to support each other instead of bring each other down. Thank you, Reddit. I already knew I needed improvement in a lot of these areas. I'm not the husband I should be and she deserves better. For some reason I get defensive when she tells me I'm not doing some of these to my fullest capability, even though I know she's right. I owe her an apology and more effort. And to my wife, I know you'll see this one day and just know I'm still sorry. I love you very much and I'm so thankful you are mine. When you both feel that your partner is genuinely thinking of your best interests first, both feel safe and there is a strong level of attachment. Neither of you feels the need to prove anything and the relationship isn't a huge emotional roller coaster. When you're okay with spending some time apart from each other, you shouldn't feel bad about hanging out with your friends or having a guy's night or a girl's night or whatever. You should be able to be two whole separate people who are also awesome together. This is true. Because while my marriage takes work, like any decent relationship, that work is not difficult. I never have to guess. I never have to stop and wonder. I think a lot of people expect the marriage to be 50/50, a perfect meeting in the middle. Nah, it's where you both go 80/20, you both go 30 past, and enjoy that broad range of together stuff, knowing if you need to be a bit selfish. That's cool, wifey got your back. Take just tonight. Big party. Wifey got drank. Like, grown up in a frock, chasing birds in a park, falling over and losing her bank card drank. In a few hours she'll wake up and be dusty. She's going to be wearing her polka dot hoodie, and I'll need to cook her an English muffin with egg and relish and coffee and whatever. But she has already done the cleaning and other weekend chores before we went out, while I was out at a football game. So while I have to be nurse husband for a bit, I don't have to do that and the laundry and vacuum and clean the bathroom. 80/20 both ways. When you genuinely like each other, not love. Love comes and goes. But when you look at each other and enjoy each other's company, that's when you know you hit the jackpot. Be with someone you like as a person, not someone you love. When there is 100% trust in each other, lose that. Good luck getting it back. Don't do anything that you wouldn't do while the other was there. Communication. You can't let things simmer and keep turning up the heat. It'll boil over. Do something for each other every day to make them smile. Could be a gift, a surprise visit, a note on the mirror in the morning, etc. My wife was the breadwinner by far. She paid for everything. I have a great job career, but that was how she was. I made her breakfast every day, dinner most nights, sent her flowers for the office every week, etc. She would surprise me and come have lunch randomly at work. Silly things like draw a big heart on the mirror in the bathroom. Anything that will make the other smile. People say a great sex life is necessary. A great sex life comes with everything else as a product of being happy and healthy together. 1. If it's us not you and me. 2. Us versus stuff. 3. If you actually like helping your so, and vice versa. 4. Sex is not a duty but fun for both. 5. Effort from both sides. Reason to gtfo. One-sided effort. Not worth it. Tried it. Stress and life and time wasted for worthless people. Mutual respect for each other. Communicating. Similar likes and dislikes. Trust, and the ability to let the other person have their own life but still comes home to you. Trust, it is one of the most important signs of a healthy relationship. Would you trust your other half to go out on a night out? Do you worry about what they are doing? Do you read through their phone? Would you trust them to answer a phone call for you? I would trust my boyfriend to do this and I feel I am in a healthy relationship. When you frick more than argue. When you laugh more than cry. When you spend more time laughing about some stupid crap you said than explaining yourself in fear of being seen as an intolerant person. When I look forward to him coming home so we can talk about our day, play games, watch our TV shows or just lay in bed while I read it and he reads his sports articles. There is no walking on eggshells or wishing I didn't have to go home yet feelings that I had with my previous marriage. I'm sincerely happy and have no worries about how he feels because we are always on the same page. When your partner is your best friend and cannot wait to excitedly tell them something, even as trivial as you seeing a super cool cat on the way home. You feel comfortable around them. First relationship, I dated a girl that seemingly took issue with everything. It would be a miracle if we went a day without fighting. I constantly felt on edge and felt like I couldn't say what I wanted or be myself. Current relationship. I get to be myself and she loves me for it. It's pretty great being able to just let loose with all the stupid bulls that bubbles up in your mind. I feel safe talking to my partner about anything. I don't feel like I am walking on eggshells. When I share my feelings and thoughts, I feel supported, even if my partner disagrees with me. I went to go click on the post on my feed titled "My girlfriend said having a 4-inch penis is okay" and this showed up. Makes sense. When it doesn't matter who did the dishes, took out the trash, or did the laundry, meaning, when you're both pitching in equally to the extent that neither of you ever feels like you do everything around the house. Also, when you never have the urge to check their phone. If you're going through your SO's phone, it's time to really think about why you're in that relationship. 2 criteria for me. You're both on the same team. When you fight, you're fighting for each other, not against each other. You have amazing sex. Some people say this isn't necessary, but it means the difference between actually being in a relationship versus just being pals. I have plenty of great friends. Thanks. My so and I better have amazing sex because I won't be getting it from anyone else. If one person wants sex more than the other, you're going to have a bad time. That last sentence is so true. When you can laugh together over stupid things that probably make no sense to anyone else, and still find it funny 10-20 years later. Source: married for 34 years. Someone has probably already said this, but in case, when you're not stressed out around them every single day, when you don't have to watch what you say for fear that they will threaten you or hurt you in some way. I would say if you and your partner are both equally forgiving mistakes or faults in the other person and take some effort in trying to understand each other's position. When you fight respectfully, constructively, and both of you can admit your mistakes. As with all relationships, disagreements are inevitable. You're able to bring up disagreements honestly, without fear of hostile retaliation. Even when things do blow up, make it a point to exclude yourself from the situation and give each other space, because emotion clouds rational thought, your ability to solve problems with mutual respect. Also, when both of you can spend time away from each other, and you have your own groups of friends and other interests outside of your relationship, not too clingy. I just got back from a weekend of going to 3 concerts with my GF. Every evening, some stranger went out of their way to say that we were great and watching us have fun made their night better. The GF and I were just feeding off each other's energy and dancing and being goofy and trying to make each other laugh. I guess other people took notice. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.